So, I want to start off by saying I was used to destroy myself. I allowed him to use me to destroy me. And who I mean by him, I'm talking about Satan, the devil. I'll say the devil because I don't respect him enough to call him by his first name. I'll say the devil. The devil used me to turn me against myself. I decided to do a video instead of going live because I didn't want any interruptions. I just had something to say and I want to just get it off my chest and then move on with my life. But as you know, some of you may know, I did close all my social medias down last month because I went through a severe mental breakdown. Like, it was bad. It was bad. And last month I was just at my breaking point. I couldn't take it no more. And I actually wanted to end my life. I thought about suicide. And I have been struggling with these feelings of depression, anxiety, and suicide for the last 3 years, and no one knew it. I suffered in silence. Yeah, I suffered in silence. Depression is real. Anxiety is something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. And I did all of this by myself because, you know, Miss Trina, Miss Busy, I always have it all together. And I refused to get some help because I thought I can get over something like this. Just to take you back on a little brief synopsis, about 3 years ago, me and my grand dog Celebrity, we was attacked by my neighbor's pit bull. And the pit bull was getting the best of my grand dog. And if it wasn't for Treasure, my grand dog wouldn't be here. But in turn, the pit ended up turning on me after it attacked Celebrity, and it chewed up my left arm. Like, I have no muscle mass. I have some, but it's very little. And I go through a lot of pain daily, but I deal with it. You know, and that caused anxiety. I didn't want to go outside. I was afraid. I was afraid to walk out my own door. But 7 days after that attack, my grandmother, the anchor of our entire family generation, had a major nervous breakdown and a stroke. So now, not only am I taking care of my dog that has tubes all through her, because she had 3 surgeries, a tail replacement, it was horrible. On top of me taking care of myself, trying to mend my wounds, I now had to turn around and take care of my grandmother and nurse her back to health. And in turn, her and my grandfather both are going through dementia at the same time. So there was no time for me to heal from my wounds, get some mental help. It just wasn't time. I had to kick right into action. And a lot of you also know too that my daughter, my oldest child, she has sickle cell disease. Yeah. So she deals with a lot of hospital visits, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We heading downtown to the ER. You know, it gets rough. So on top of this, I have a wounded dog, a wounded arm, 2 grandparents going through dementia, as well as my grandmother trying to recover from a stroke. And it was a lot to deal with. And I've been dealing with this now for about 3 years. And it was hard. It was hard, but I just knew I can do it. But I went from being strong to crying every other day because I just wanted a break. I wanted to heal, but I didn't know where I can take this break without feeling guilty. You know, I had a lot of people that depended on me. And so there was no time for me to kind of take care of myself in my own situations. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, you know, that's just family. It's a labor of love, honestly, it is. But going through what I went through, it was a lot to handle. So I fell into a depression. And you know, jobs like that doesn't pay much. So sometimes your income will take a hit. And mine's did, but you know, I'm a hustler. So I know how to make ends meet. I do. And some of you know that because a lot of you guys are my customers. But you know, honestly, I went through a lot and I just didn't know how to recover. And so I let it eat me up inside and I held it in as long as I could. And I did not turn to God, which was so crazy because it was like it was just no time to do anything. I had to just spring into action. And just recently, maybe about 5 months ago, I got into a major car accident with my oldest daughter with sickle cell, unfortunately. And it put her in the hospital for like a month and a half. Yeah. And then I had to go to physical therapy. So on top of everything that I have to do, I have to some way, somehow sketch in therapy to get me back right so I can be able to take care of my grandparents and run my daughter down to the hospital and, you know, take care of all the other things. And then I have a teenage daughter that also needs my attention as well. In exactly 4 months from the first accident, right after I healed, I got into another accident. Both times rear-ended. Wasn't my fault. And Sierra was in the car again. And it put her right back in the hospital. She's there now. And now I had to in turn start doing chiropractor therapy. Yeah. For my neck, my back. I mean, it's just like, oh my God, when is this gonna end? And I just didn't see no way out. And I just got so tired and I just got so depressed and tired and depressed. But I had to keep going. Then suddenly my car started shaking. After I got it fixed twice, it just started shaking and rumbling and cutting off. And I'm like, this is a 2017 Jeep, less than 30,000 miles. Why is this car acting like this? And it was just shaking and shutting off. And like, it was doing that for like at least a week. And then finally my check engine light came on and the car just wouldn't come on. I'm like, you got to be kidding. And that kind of sent me into a major depression. Because now not only am I dealing with all of this that I have to deal with, now this car is acting up, you know, and I don't have a whole lot of money just yet. But I'm like, you know, I got other bills to tend to, but I also had to get around. So now I'm worried, I'm stressed, and I just said, forget it. I just screamed. And I shut down my social media and I went into a depression and I planned out my suicide exit. Yeah, I did. I didn't care about nothing. Wasn't going to leave a note. I was just going to do it. I was just going to do it because I didn't know what else to do, who to turn to, ask for help. I just didn't want to do all of that. I didn't. And so that was it. I was in a sunken place and I couldn't work, couldn't get up, couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even move. And I had people texting me and calling me, and I'm just ignoring people's text messages. I'm ignoring the calls because I knew what I needed to do and what day I was going to do it. I did. It just got that serious for me. And I know suicide is not the way. I have two people right now, two good friends right now that has lost, one lost her brother to suicide and one lost her daughter to suicide. And I see the pain they go through. And I cry with them, for them. And then for me to turn around and want to do the same thing, not caring who I was going to hurt, I was just tired of hurting. And not one time, I'm so ashamed to say that I turned to God and asked for help. Which is crazy because I come from a church background. Like, both sets of my grandparents live right next door. So I was in church all the time with my grandfather, Mr. Willie Williams, and my other grandfather and grandmother, the Jokes. So I come from a praying background, but I just couldn't do it. I allowed Satan, the devil, to infiltrate my mind like, nobody's going to miss you. You can't handle it. You on a way out? Let me show you a way out. And I let him get that deep into my mind that I wanted to end it all. And not one time did I say, let me pray. Because he had got to me already. And it's so sad. All these little things that was happening to me, all these seasons of unfortunate events was happening for a reason. That was God knocking on my door, and I just refused to let him in because I'm thinking I can handle it all. I can do it my way. I got this, and I didn't have nothing. Nothing. And God just kept tapping on me. Them accidents could have really been so bad to the point that I could have been paralyzed. And so, my child. But God has a way of trying to get your attention without making you lay flat on your behind. And he did. And I thought about it. I'm saying, you know what? I'm doing all of this and I have not gave God none of my attention. I wake up in the morning. I check social media. Take a shower. Instead of talking to God, I'm singing in the shower. Make some breakfast. Instead of saying grace, I eat and I go. Jump in the Jeep, heading to work. Instead of using this time to talk to God, I cut on the radio. So now I'm at work. Now I'm working my two businesses. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm calling people, I'm talking to friends. And not one time have I gave God any of my time. I get home, sit in the driveway. I'm checking my emails. Now it's time to go in the house and do housely duties. Dinner, cleaning up, taking a bath. Now God's saying, okay, good. She's done with everything and everybody. I know she's finna kneel and pray and talk to me. Nope. I jump right in that bed, cut the TV on, watching my old programs. And now I'm asleep. Now I'm doing this all over again without giving God any of my time. But oh, do we have a way of making us listen. And at that time, I was at my breaking point and I couldn't do nothing. And I have amazing friends, a huge support system. But I just could not figure out a way to get help or to ask for help. I didn't. And I have some wonderful men in my life. Like these two guys here, Boo and Adam. Not a week go past that they call and check on me and tell me how much they love me and how much the world loves me. And it was just crazy because they was like really, really heavy, landing on heavy, not knowing what I was going through. And yes, these are my really good friends. They both are married. I love them to death. I love Lisa, which is Boo's wife. But for something, for them to be that heavy on me, they must have felt it too. The guy that I date, he knows what I'm going through. He couldn't get through to me either. It just wasn't getting through. I wouldn't let nobody in. So now I'm ignoring all these text messages and phone calls, and I just didn't want to hear nothing. But the text that came through my phone, I looked at it and it changed my life. And it said, stop what you're doing and let's go into a fast. Yes, that came from the guy that I'm dating. Stop what you're doing and let's fast together. And so I'm like, bing. I'm like, how can you ignore somebody that's telling you, let's talk to God about this? And from the moment that I started fasting, my life started to change. I promise you. In an instant. And all I can feel was God saying, yes, yes, I got my child back. I got my child back. Instantly started turning things around. I took my Jeep down the street to the little auto place down here. He said, you know what? The only thing wrong with your car is a little spark plug. He said, oh, I can fix that for you in 30 minutes and get you on your way. And I'm saying, but my check engine light is on and car stopping. It was check. He said, I know they just don't build cars like they used to. He said, but you have less than 30,000 miles. You shouldn't need a tune-up, and you don't. Just need a little spark plug replaced. So now I'm like, oh my God. 10 minutes later, cash app ding, car paid for. And now I'm on my way. And I'm thanking God, and I'm crying, and I'm getting everything out, and I'm just overjoyed and embarrassed at the same time that I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know how to pray. But I promise y'all, I have been fasting every Monday. And it's very important what you do while you fast. You pray, you study, you read, and you meditate. Because praying is talking to God. Meditating is listening. And I heard God's word. I heard his love. I felt his presence. And I just been overjoyed ever since. Excuse me. I really have. I've been overjoyed ever since. And I've been better. And I kind of feel like Miss Sophia from The Color Purple, you know. That's just how deep I was. Sitting in that jail, damn near about rot to death. But oh, Miss Sophia is back. I promise y'all, I am back. I'm better than ever. And I am ready to live. I'm ready to fight. And I'm going to fight. But you have to know, you do not have to go through depression alone. You do not. I'm getting help. I'm getting help from my anxiety. And I am going to be just fine. Just fine. I'm not even worried about money anymore. You know, it got so bad for me that I had more month than I had money. Now, I wasn't broke because money was always coming in. But, you know, I just ran out of money close to the end of the month. And that stresses me out, which it shouldn't have, because I know how to turn $25 into $100 in 10 minutes. I know how to do that. But I let that spirit jump in me to tell me you can't even hustle. And I know that's a lie. The devil was a lie. And I'm back, y'all. And so I want to just let you know I'm sorry. My depression was about something I was going through. I didn't delete nobody. I wasn't trying to ignore you or act funny. And people like, oh, she acting funny. Oh, she must have deleted me. I don't do that. And y'all know I'm a bubbly, happy person. Positive. But I was going through a dark space. But I'm better. I'm better. And I got some things that I'm working on. And I'm actually going to announce it tomorrow. I'm going to go live because I'm excited about it. This is one of my new projects that I'm working on. That the devil tried to stop. Tried to stop that. And this is all for God. This project ain't got nothing but God written on it. I don't want no credit. I'm just doing the duty. I got the assignment and I'm carrying it out. So you guys stay tuned. And again, I apologize. And I love y'all for loving on me. And don't worry, your girl is back. I'm back. I am the light. Somebody told me that. He said, my friends, they say, you know what? You are a beacon of light and the world needs you. And guess what? I'm back. The world got me. You know why? Because God got me. And I'm allowing him to be the head of my life. I can do anything. I just can't do everything. And now I'm okay with that. Trust me. So stay tuned tomorrow, guys, so I can announce my first project. Well, anyway, thank you for listening. Watch this video. Share it. Even the strongest people need help from time to time. So check on your people. You see them avoiding parties and not want to come outside, you know something is wrong. Check on them, talk to them, ask them. And we're going to get through this together. So if you need me, you call me. Okay? All right, good night.